Good evening, this is Wilbert Cook, Hand Up Recovery Homes, coming to you to discuss how we can help people recover from alcoholism, substance abuse, how we can help reduce recidivism by doing that, and how we can help folks reclaim their lives and help all of us reclaim our communities and help build them up rather than tear them down. Build up people, and then we get less communities being torn down. Build up people, we get less families being torn up. Build up people, and we have our young folks being more productive, less violent, less dangerous, and into less criminal activity. So it's real important that we build up people. Hand Up is about giving up a hand up, not a handout. We believe in helping folks become more responsible and productive. That's our main objective, our main goal. And in doing that, we're trying to have guests more regularly. However, we have guests that sometimes can't make it. We have guests with family, and family, as you know, things are unpredictable. And tonight, even though I was hoping to have one of my goddaughters in the studio, that was the surprise. It didn't happen. O'Hare Airport has a plane coming out of Japan, circling right now. It's supposed to land it at 5 o'clock. And my goddaughter and her grandma would be here in studio. Unfortunately, they're not. So we'll try to get them in at a later date. That granddaughter has graduated from FAMU in Florida, pharmaceutical genius. She's she's a brilliant, beautiful, and bold, health crazy young lady. So, and she's traveling the world at the ripe age, I think 24. And she is one wonderful person. So in this day and age where sometimes all these different attitudes on TVs our young people pick up, all these attitudes in the community our young people pick up, it's great when young people pick up a desire to be their best selves and also be respectful and cordial in almost everything they do. And when beauty doesn't interfere with their brains or their brilliance, and it is great. And when a lot of attention does not destabilize them, but it helps them grow the opportunity to encourage people to eat healthy, live healthy, make good decisions, and then they've learned to already take care of our community. You know, I'm amazed at some of our young people. My niece is a registered nurse with a master's degree in nursing from Methodist University in Peoria, and she had a bachelor's at Bradley. These young folks are really building themselves up, but also they have seen sickness and mental illness and addiction throughout these communities they grew up in. And all of them are learning how to try to help make a change and help our society live healthier and help those struggling get back on the right track and improve their health. So I'm really proud of those students. Now, unfortunately, I deal with the family members who usually in trouble, the family members who are addicted, the family members who've been in and out of jail. But knowing that others, in spite of all that they've seen go wrong in the community, are building successful lives, building lives where they show compassion for humanity, building lives where they go into professions where they can help guide folks away from the opioids and not help them get addicted, guide folks to better eating habits and not have them struck on all the diabetic medicine, help them learn to manage their salt intake and processed food intake so they don't end up with chronic high blood pressure. And by doing that, they may not keep building all these dialysis clinics in our community because they design as the medicine and the diseases blow out your kidney. That's what the dialysis centers are for, to help your body function when your kidney no longer will function the way it's supposed to purify your blood. So the machine becomes a substitute to help purify your blood and clean out your blood 2-3 times a week, where your body does it on a daily basis. So keeping with that, that's one of the hazards that we sometimes never talk about with doing street drugs. Street drugs can blow out your kidneys as fast or faster than any other medicine that you're taking, prescribed by doctors. The good part about doctors, when they prescribe it, good doctors also monitor your kidney function. Try to make sure you're not getting a combination of drugs, or the drugs you have are not damaging your kidneys significantly at any given time. However, due to various illness, sometimes that's unavoidable, but it can be managed. The goal actually is, though, to live healthier. Get off the street drugs. Try to learn how to manage your blood pressure, manage your diabetes, and then you don't have to worry about street drugs or pharmaceutical drugs blowing out your kidney. Now, I learned that by accident. My doctors never told me that my medicine could blow out my kidneys. You hear in the community, you hear every now and then people talking about your high blood pressure can damage your kidneys even if it doesn't give you a stroke or a heart attack. You start to hear that other illnesses like diabetes may adversely affect your kidneys. But what the medical profession fails to tell us on a regular basis is our medicines are helping destroy our kidneys too. Like one of the greatest drugs in mankind is also one of the most dangerous, Chemotherapy can kill people as well as heal people. Some people's bodies cannot handle it. Their body succumbs to the toxins in the chemotherapy and they don't make it. Radiation kills good cells and bad cells to get rid of the bad cells. So there are medicines. There's a little toxin in almost every medicine we take. And that toxin has to be disposed of and eliminated in your system. And it goes through your kidney, is your eliminating, processing, purifying part of your body. So let's be real careful that we don't assume that just because we get medicine that we're in great shape, or have a false sense of we're healthier than we think because the medicine helping us, what they say, mask or control an illness. The ultimate is to eat right, live right, get more exercise, more movement, so that you can eliminate some of those medicines, if not all of those medicines. That's my ultimate goal, is to reduce my medicines in half in the next year. I've reduced a couple. They're currently talking about, because of how well my heart functioning after almost, going into serious defect 10 years ago, my heart has rejuvenated itself as I've learned to live healthier, and it's healthier and pumping better than ever. And my arteries are clear. That's living better. That's less fried food, no matter how much I like a good fried piece of chicken. That's good living, no matter how much I like a good slice of boiled ham or salami. I don't order that regularly. No matter how much some Salisbury steaks in the processed food aisle can still taste, I don't buy them. As well as there's plenty of processed meals, I do not buy them. I cook most of my meals, or I go places where they cook food still. I try to find restaurants where they still cook fresh ingredients. And as much as I like a good pasta dish and don't want it inexpensive, as much as I love the breadsticks and the salad at Olive Garden, I try to avoid it, because the bread is not good for me and my diabetes, and the pasta is not good for my diabetes, no matter how good it tastes. The salad is good, except I love cheese, so I'm glad I don't be trying to get a lot of salad dressing, but I do get my fair share of cheese, and that salt in that cheese can be dangerous and counterproductive. But of the three, the salad is way better than the other two that can be very tasty. So, but today, any meal I get from Olive Garden, I am able to take at least half the meal home and stop usually with 2 breadsticks and a salad. Now, I will eat some salad while I'm there. But the important part of this is we all have to learn to eat healthier, live healthier, make healthier choices. A lot of what happens in the community, the violence, sick people behave like sick people. If you're mentally, emotionally unstable, you behave like you're mentally, emotionally unstable. If you have untreated alcoholism, substance abuse, you act like you have untreated alcoholism, substance abuse. If you have anger problems, you act like you out of control and angry and or go to rage often. So these are things we have to learn to process our feelings, our emotions, that will allow us to then also realize why we may or may not use various drugs, why we may or may not overeat, why we may or may not drink, why we may or may not tend to eat the wrong foods. Comfort foods, zero or near zero nutritional value, but you can buy them everywhere. You can get potato chips, and you can get snacks, and you can get sugar-filled snacks. Even half the healthy snacks aren't all that healthy. A lot of them have too much sodium or too much sugar, or they got both, and they call them healthy snacks. You have to read labels. You know, reading is fundamental, we talk about, and that's another important part. When people do not get a proper education, they're at a disadvantage taking care of their health oftentimes. And, you know, everything is not always communicated verbally, that the information is not always communicated verbally for people to get to know. So that's where reading is very helpful. So these are various ways we can help ourselves that we sometimes overlook just how simple helping improve our quality of living is. We sometimes get so wrapped up in everything that's wrong in our community, but it stems from poor health, poor diet, poor decisions, lack of information, not enough information about what affects your body adversely, not enough information. However, all of it's available to us, and the greatest tools we have now that distract us is our greatest asset. The telephones with all these apps, with YouTube. Anything you need to know about medicine, the effects of medicine on your kidneys, the effect on your body, any potential toxins, you can Google it. Now, I've been told by pharmacists and doctors, we cannot believe everything on the internet, but you can get a pretty good sound start. And then you go to professionals, pharmacists and doctors to help you with the information. Or nutritionists or herbalists. All of these people are starting to be utilized by the medical field. But even when not utilized by the medical field, people are getting access to the information on how herbs can help heal them, as well as a lot of pharmaceutical drugs. That's why the elders didn't have some of these ailments. It was the combination of an active lifestyle. They worked in factories, they worked in farmland, they worked in restaurants. So they were in a constant state of motion, burning up calories. So 2-3 meals a day, they burned it up, and they lived healthy, and they were leaner. Now we sit at computers, we sit and play on our phones, we sit and do this and sit and do that. And we get up with bad attitudes sometimes because of our health condition. Bad attitudes because we mentally been tapped out because we see so many rich folks on our phone and on TV that we wondering why we so broke. So we go out there and make bad decisions. We see so many bad signals in movies about drug dealing as a way of life and a way to come up. It is a way. It is not the only way, and it's not the best for your family. Most families end up destroyed more by drugs, and even if they get rich, they end up destroyed a lot faster. And people along the family line usually become a casualty to the drugs or a casualty to the lifestyle and end up in and out the penitentiary. So that means 2-3 generations get ruined by that hustle on a regular basis, and 1 or 2 out of each generation may survive and the other doesn't end up dead or in the penitentiary. Those are bad odds. Out of 14 people in a family, 2 may make it rich and get out the game alive. The other ones will either die in the game or end up in the penitentiary regularly because of the game. Those are really bad odds. That is not getting ahead. That is not long-term sustainability. Stock market, doctors, lawyers, government workers, civil service workers, people with legitimate job have long-term freedom to build long-term success. Freedom has a lot of advantages. And people who work hard on jobs usually have most family members work hard on jobs and or learn how to work less but make more. They learn how to enhance their ability to make money, to invest, to go utilize insurance, to learn to invest in property. We have to do the things that the elders used to do. I don't know how we get this educated, our particular generation. And sometimes the decisions that we make in our communities that destroy our community is utterly ridiculous. Our educated people do not invest in a lot of our communities, and our uneducated people use the hustle, illegal hustles, to try to get ahead, which further destroys the community. Both are equally horrible. I deplore ministers, academic people, brilliant people who have done nothing to uplift the people in black and brown communities. I am just as disappointed with those who've gotten rich in the hustle while further destroying their family and many of the families and people in the community. Both of them are horrific. It's no way we should be the most educated group of African Americans in the history of the United States of America, in the history of the world, and we're the only black folk who have not advanced our people, American black folks in general. We done helped every other ethnic group do better, but we have failed to lift ourselves up as a group. It's a shame that the pinnacle of African American success hinged on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, our guy Fred Hampton, and since then, no one has bothered to take the mantle and be willing to die for the people. In all honesty, I have to admit, you all, I'm not sure it's worth it anymore. So many opportunities getting rich and not helping our communities. Should I be willing to die for it? I'm already staying poor trying to help other people. I spend thousands out my pocket every year trying to help other people. I occasionally get a government grant, and I usually, instead of padding my pocket, hire another dozen people. Where most people would hire 3 or 4 people, I hire a dozen. I stretch that money like mom and them used to stretch $1 and stretch 50 cents. I stretch government funding. We have people making millions to do what I've been able to do whenever I'm afforded a government grant with a few $100,000. About $150,000 to $200,000 I did as well as multi-million-dollar agencies. Check our track record with the state, with the federal government. Whenever they've given us a grant, check our numbers, check our data. Check how we spent the money, and you will see I've put a dozen people to work out of every one of those grants, and I've helped hundreds of people. Most folks with multiple $1 million programs have not helped that many people or put that many folks to work with that far small amount. They used the whole million, 2 million to put 12 people to work. I can use $200,000 and put 12 people to work in our community, helping lift each other up. But I find passionate individuals that are willing to work in the community. They're not trying to get rich off the community. And as we grow, I always pay everybody better. We all get paid better as we grow. As we get another grant, I do increase the salaries. As we get a grant, I do start everybody off with living wages. But I'm only having a pittance, but I'm having great success because of the quality. I invest in people, they invest in other people, and we do the work. We go in the community whenever we afforded that opportunity. I'm on the air because I do not want to be off the air anytime soon, long as it's a slotted can TV that fits my regular work schedule. I keep a 9 to 5 to keep me functioning and helping other people. What I do for a hand up and what we do for hundreds of people any given week is because we love helping people. And with or without a grant, we're going to help save lives. With or without a grant, we're going to help people live a better quality of life. With or without a grant, we've got family members and children, nieces, and nephews that we've helped get through some of the best academic institutions in the state of Illinois. With or without a grant, they've learned to go work for various institutions and help improve the quality of living in our community. Because that's the life we lead among them. It does not take celebrity status. It does not take $1 million. It does not take those with the millions or billions to always invest in us. Throughout the history of America, those with the least have did the most for those with the least. So if we keep waiting on the cavalry of millionaires, billionaires to help us, we're in trouble. But if we strategically continue to help each other with the few dollars we have, I guarantee you in the society we're in, eventually hundreds of thousands and millions will come our way. Not saying it may happen all at once, but cumulatively it all helps. Cumulatively, we also change lives. Cumulatively, we can change the community. I'm thankful. There's about 24 organizations across the West Side I've helped rebuild and help start enhance because I've been willing to share my time and energy with them. And they're very successful. But I also watched hundreds of businesses were available when I was a kid, no longer exist in the community. But because they once were there, I help other groups. Because they once there, we have a hand up helping people learn to be more productive and live a better life. Because they had legitimate businesses, I developed a legitimate business, and I'm on the verge of having 2-3 legitimate businesses. I've helped several dozen other legitimate businesses get developed in the last few years. I would have helped hundreds if they would have followed the guidelines and used the information I was sharing. We'll do a show on how to help successfully get your businesses and nonprofits started using a group called Community Economic Development Law Project. And those who got it tonight, enjoy that information. I will continue to feed that info to you. And if you follow up, you can start your new successful, profitable or nonprofit business, and for minimum funding. Why? Because these groups of lawyers help you pro bono. That means they do not have to get paid up front. And sometimes all they ask is $100 membership, $75 membership. I don't even know what it is anymore. What I do is every year I try to donate $100, $150 or buy a ticket to their fundraiser. And half the time I get busy in the community and I miss the night out at the fundraiser, but I contribute because they help me do all that I've done the last 20 years in my community for hundreds of people. So I look forward to being back next week with a guest. And our guest next week will be Judge Murray. He's feeling better. He's getting over a tragic loss, and he's ready to come back. He actually was willing to come tonight, but I had another guest scheduled. So next week will be Judge Murray. And the week after will be LaShawn Trost. LaShawn Trost. He has an app that can help you choose schools, choose jobs, choose career paths, plot your plan for a career path. And he's a young African-American brother who worked teaching in the penal justice system, currently works with After School Matters, and LaShawn Trost has a great app, and we're going to introduce it to you in 2 weeks from today. And every month after that, we're going to go over that app and different applications to help people build a successful life. So we're going to continue to live more in the solutions and not be so wrapped up in the problems. Thank you. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure, as my mentor Les Brown say. And peace out and blessings to everyone. Love you.